Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Mssada Podcast. We are excited to be back with you. We're here tonight on prime time. It's prime time with Keith Mangan and myself, Matt Trahan. Excited to be here with you, Keith. 7 p.m. We haven't done this yet.
Yeah, so this is a first. Pretty exciting. Curious to see how the changes with views and stuff like that. I know you threw it out there on X and gave everyone the heads up that we're making the change. Those people who might be tuning in for the first time, this is normally right around 1 o'clock or so towards the end of the school day that we throw this out there. So pretty exciting.
Yeah, listen, super excited. I actually had a couple of our colleagues reach out and they were like, "Who's the special guest?" Because we kind of teased it a little bit, right?
Absolutely.
And, you and I will typically have guests on, every other episode or whatnot. But seeing as we're building and we're getting to the point where a lot of us are going to the national conference, my first thought came to mind is there's one individual who, in my opinion, is amazing. I know I'm building him up, but done a little bit of research on him and the type of guy that he is. He's perfect for the podcast at this time, on prime time. Let's introduce the Associate Executive Director, Rich Barton. There he is.
Hey,
there he is.
Appreciate
Rich,
you guys. Yeah, good, great. Appreciate you guys having me on. Prime time. I hope I'm up to the task.
Oh, I think you are. We appreciate you joining us. So Rich, we want to talk to you a little bit, and we know that again, it's 7 o'clock and people are still either wrapping things up or whatnot. But I do see that we've got about 35 viewers as it is now, so this will catch some steam. But one of the things that we wanted to talk to you about is your experience, because doing a little bit of research, you've been in the field for quite some time, and you've got a long history with being an athletic administrator. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, so started out as a teacher and coach in Utah, born and raised there, and I had at my school the dual role assistant principal AD retired probably a little earlier than he anticipated because of some health problems. And I had my administrative endorsement and was sought after for that job, but I wasn't ready to be done as a boys basketball coach. And so I took that dual role job on one condition, that I could still be the head basketball coach. Nice. So awesome. For the next 6 years, I did those three at the same time. And I did it because I was able to do it because I had one of the best principals an AD could ever work for, who was very supportive. And then because of my wife and her great support. And so I did that for 6 years. Then I was unexpectedly called to be a bishop of my church congregation. And the only thing that really could come off my plate was the basketball.
Yeah.
And hard as that was for me to, maybe close that door, it was a blessing, because now for the first time I could go to a national conference, get more involved in the UIAAA. About 2 years later, I became the president of the UIAAA, and that first year out, after finishing coaching, I went to my first national conference, and I've been to every one since. And
nice.
And it opened a door to be involved nationally, and I spent a total of 24 years as assistant principal AD. Wow. And never expected to uproot from all our family and friends in Utah, but felt inspired and felt some inner nudging when Mike Blackburn retired and the associate position became available. And I guess the rest is history. Now I'm here in Indianapolis, and it's been a blessing to be able to interact with our 16,000 plus members around the country. And as the two of you know, Keith and Matt, the NIAAA is one unique family across the country, and I'm always impressed. Our accreditation teams that have spoken about us have said, hey, there's no other group in education like the NIAAA, and it's great to hear those kind of things.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
So, Rich, I know you're talking about your years of as an AD and assistant principal and a coach, but you know the wonders of the internet here. To put you on the spot here a little bit. I typed in and I was doing a little research here, and I don't know if people know this big time here. So, high school Hall of Famer, high school basketball Hall of Famer, right? Hall of Fame from Southern Utah University, the Thunderbirds. And I
just rolled into my driveway at about close to 2 a.m. This morning because the AD there he invited us to come to. They played Loyola Chicago last.
Oh, awesome!
I saw that. Yeah,
close loss, but I support my Southern Utah Thunderbirds through.
Well, there you go. And I saw another pretty cool stat. So I don't know if you know, Matt's also a high school basketball coach.
I do. I follow Matt on Twitter, and and
you got to be careful.
Matt, I would want my son to play for Matt.
Yeah, there you go.
I appreciate that. I don't know if my own son wants that, but we'll see.
I've heard some reports about coaching baseball. A Red Sox out here. The guy used to play for us. One of the coaches, Wendell Kim. We wave him in Wendell, so we call Matt wave him around first, head him right into second, whether or not it's a safe play or not. But one of the other things I saw, which is pretty impressive in your playing days, and I don't pick on you here a little bit, but I saw a stat of top 5 in school history in rebounding and in scoring is pretty impressive.
It's my career was back that long ago when you tore an ACL, it was usually a career ender. I tore my right knee ACL twice.
Oh wow!
Did it in my junior season, and in fact, sometimes people say, "Well, I saw your stats, in the press guide or on the internet," and it's like, well, why were you like the team MVP your sophomore year, and then it's like 2 years later you're the team MVP as a senior? What happened? And my best game was my worst game my junior year of college. We did a European tour the summer before and played against guys that I'd seen in the NBA and things, and I came back feeling like I'm better than some of these guys, and had a lot of confidence. And first 6 games, I was fortunate. I was getting 29 a game. You'd think that would put you at the top of the D1 scoring, but I think I was still third. But in the game I blew my knee, I had 42 points with just under 7 to go, and the career total was 51 at Southern Utah, and it's still 51 at Southern Utah because I just turned wrong and blew an ACL, and was fortunate to come back my senior year and play on one good leg, and then halfway through my senior year, I fractured the navicular bone on my shooting hand. And so I played on one leg and had to do a lot of things with my offhand.
There you go. There you go. Work on those skills.
But I was broken. I was damaged goods. Coming out of that.
Which is amazing though, if you think about. I mean, Keith brought up the record. Obviously, that's phenomenal. It's very impressive. But to be injured and to still have that record is quite impressive. That's wild. That's wild.
Well, it was no regrets. I had some opportunities, European, and also with at that time what was called the CBA, now the G League. I turned down some good European money to to go and coach in my wife's hometown, and no regrets.
There you go. Awesome. And, it's something cool that you alluded to earlier. And we talk about, and Matt and I have talked about this regularly on the show and some of our other guests, of how lucky we have been to be able to do the jobs that we do, but the support of our spouses and folks at home, where frequently we're not there and trying to figure out how that balances. And I have two older ones, and Matt's got a couple of young athletes and an older daughter, and it's trying to find that balance and how important that work-life balance is, and it can break you quickly if you don't figure that out in a hurry in this gig.
Yeah, well stated. We're only as good as our support,
yep.
and the real MVPs in our roles are those that are supporting us behind the scenes.
Absolutely. It's so true too, Rich, because, like you say, you got to have that support system at home. And, I know, Keith, you're the same way. Mine never wavers. It's, the AD job itself is strenuous and busy, and you're out, night after night. But when you throw basketball or a sport into the mix, you take it to a whole nother level. And, you feel like 3 months go by and, hey, I'm back home again, So,
whether they like it or not, you're back home again.
Right.
I hear that. So Rich, talk to us a little bit. We alluded to a little bit in the beginning. Big time of the year, especially for you all at the national office. And this is going to be my first trip to Austin, Texas, period. Matt and I are heading down together. We're looking forward to being down there. What are some things that we can expect to see? What's the NIAAA going to do to outdo themselves from past years?
Well, it's my first trip to Austin as well. Becky and Patty in their role responsibilities make the site visits, and they've gone repeatedly down there and have nothing but a lot of positives to say about the convention center and the area, and expect that it's going to be a great experience for everyone with our 55th national conference. I can tell you this: Nashville was our highest attended ever 2 years ago, and right now we're a couple of hundred ahead of the Nashville pace. This is the last week of registration, so we expect kind of a final surge too. But we've got great opening session speaker, individual by the name of Kenyon. I don't know if I pronounce this right, Salo, and then another closing session speaker. A lot of people are familiar with Stephen Mackey, and those two will provide an inspiring opening and closing with the speakers. We have added an extra workshop session. So that's one thing, our attendees will have the opportunity to have additional workshop time. We have for the first time ever on Friday evening, because we've had surveys, people have told us, hey, can we have something for Friday night for those that are coming in earlier, which we have an increased number that are, besides the LTI session on Friday night. So we have a hot topic session on Friday night, which will be something new and additional. But I think with our scheduled individuals that are going to be doing workshops, we feel like we have a great lineup of people and topics for workshops. And then we'll have 3 new courses, one that's centered around culture, another one that is supporting the college-bound athlete, and then a third one that's kind of been in the works off and on again for like a decade, managing tragedies, which is also a needed one. And so a lot of interest in those new courses. And so total of 61 leadership training courses that will be offered, where we have just under 1,800 registered courses at the conference too, which to me speaks volumes to to our membership. Matt's probably attended some of those basketball coaching clinics. I went to the night one in Vegas every year when I coached, and yeah, you get a lot of people in the casinos and doing other things. I'm always impressed with our people.
Yeah,
they show up for PD.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
that's impressive. The minute you say Vegas, I'm like, yeah, sure, there was a lot of learning going on there. But no, good. That's great. That's great.
But so we're excited about what's to be offered, and and I tell people as I go speak at state conferences and things, just attend one.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you attend one, you're always going to attend. And my first 6 years as a basketball coach while I was AD, I didn't feel like I could, plan my schedule and leave in December. And then when I went to my first conference after I was done coaching, I said, I really should have paved a way schedule-wise to do it, because I would have been better as a coach, a leader, a teacher, everything. I tell people in my role as a full-time assistant principal, I use more of stuff I got from the NIAAA in my day-to-day than I did from some of your assistant principal PD and
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. But the funny thing is, Rich, is you hit the nail on the head with the fact that with basketball it's difficult, and once you've been, you continually go. So about 9 years ago, we got a new superintendent, and he was a former athletic director. And I said to him, I said, I really like to go to the national conference with some colleagues, but it's just with basketball. And he says, well, don't you know the guy who does the scheduling? And I said, you know what, I do. So, you got a good staff, and the folks take good care of me. I'm going to miss like 2 practices, which pains me. But at the same point in time, the national conference is like going to Disneyland for athletic directors. It really is. It's every year we go, and you grow a little stronger as an individual, and you make some great connections and bonds with other folks. But I think one of the things that's really eye-opening for me is when you talk to other folks from different states, and they tell you, hey, I'm an athletic director and a 350-mile radius in say Texas, and there's 10 people that work under me. It's just everybody's doing it differently, and you get to see it, firsthand.
Well, I always admire school leaders, and you shared an example of one that get it, that support their people, sharpening the saw, being their best. And as I meet ADs around the country, and you see some that, well, I can't afford to take a couple days off, few days off to go and get leadership training courses and PD. And I always tell them, you can't afford not to,
right?
Because it minimizes the problems you deal with on a daily basis. It allows you to thrive rather than just survive the day. And we have a number of people throughout the country. Unfortunately, they don't have the support to some even don't even have the support to go to the state conferences.
Yeah,
right.
But and that's sad to see, because it prevents them from being their best. But we know a lot of people don't know what they don't know, and I have the highest respect for those school leaders that say, hey, take off. We'll cover some events while you're gone, and you go get what you need to do what is a full-time job, 24 hours a day for the whole year, because the largest department in every school doesn't stop.
Right.
It doesn't stop in the summer. It's something that's hard to get a lot of people to have an understanding of what we do and what you do. And those that take the time to find out, and those that have the appreciative support, they have my highest respect.
Appreciate that.
Well, that is very well put. Matt was actually the person who was kind of pushing me to go for years. When my kids were little, I didn't dare even ask my wife if it was okay to try and make that so close to Christmas, right?
Yeah.
And then the National Harbor was my first one that I went, and then missed the year there during COVID. But what a great experience it's been for me. We had a great time down in Nashville last year, and Orlando was a great experience as well. And as Matt said, we do a little thing now too. We actually, at every hotel, and we started it in Nashville. We that great big teddy bear that was in the in the hotel. We actually made a Christmas card and sent out with some of us from a thing we sent out to a bunch of different ADs and stuff like that. With a picture in front of the teddy bear.
Every year.
It's a great opportunity just to be able to learn, to rub elbows a little bit, just to kind of share stories, and that's so important about our state conference as well. That I remember my family saying, "Oh, enjoy your vacation that you're going on," and I said, "Look, I'm there learning. It's all about learning. It's all about learning." And then they sure, okay, have a good time. We'll see you in a few days.
But you know what though? You stack those leadership courses, and again, it's a goal, and you took care of it obviously before I did, and you inspired me too, Keith. To get your CMAA is a big thing, and I think that for people that have been doing it as long as we all have, I think that's the progression. That's where you want to be. But one of the things that I wanted to say before I forget is, the professional development, in my opinion, is like first class all the way. You see it on the national stage, and it's just extremely well done and inspiring. The other piece that I can't say enough about is I've brought so many things back to school that have made my life and the parents and the student athletes easier. Like, I give you an example. I didn't think I could afford it, and I had a talk with some of the guys at Final Forms. They're lights out. It's changed the game for me. I know Keith's big on making connections as well. We're using what is it, Quick Cut? We're using Quick Cut now. It was one of the vendors down there. Tremendous job. When the list goes on and on and on. So, you go down there and you're bringing back nuggets and tidbits to your own school, and everybody's like, oh yeah, he must have come back from PD because he's all fired up and ready to go.
Matt, you're right. When you and Tanya had started with Final Forms, we were talking with them, and it was like right at the beginning when the talk of, hey, we're going to be moving over and taking over, doing the work at the national level too. I just finally got my school system to sign us up. And like the feedback that I get from everyone, this is wonderful. Like, why haven't we been doing this forever? And, sometimes it's about the dollar and trying to stretch those dollars the best you can to make it work. And, now that they, trusted we did something different, and it's been amazing, and all those different things. I remember, that's funny when you talk about Quick Cut. I remember walking by there because we were having a conversation about how some, you get to a point where some vendors are kind of cornering the market a little bit, and you want to have an option because that might not be what's best for you, and
right.
And just stopping and having a conversation, how that kind of came out of that, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, the vendor hall is amazing, Rich. They your group does such a great job bringing in quality vendors and people that are obviously tied into what we do, but at such a great and high level.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, and we see from time to time some of those companies pick some of our people from our profession to wise on their part, and a lot of them are ones at the end of their career.
Yeah,
but they're smart enough to hire some of our knowledgeable ADs that are connected around the country.
Well, I'll say the only part I stay away from now, really, in the vendor hall now, is that cornhole tournament. After Kelly Wolf and I played a couple of gentlemen from Alabama a few years ago, and it was like they threw, our side threw, and we were done in no time. It was like we're playing professionals. Didn't even have a chance.
Yeah. Well, one of the other things too is we try to find time as a group. Our group tries to get together, and we've seen some unbelievable sporting events. When we've been at the national, we went to see the Colorado Buffs. We saw that was fantastic. I don't know, I haven't had a chance to look at the calendar, Keith, but we got to take something in, I'm sure.
Well, the trip over to Vandy for the basketball game with Jerry Stackhouse with that suit and those high tops, that was a pretty good look on on the stool right on the side, which is we had a great experience there. And Rich, was the funny thing was we Ubered over, and all of a sudden we're like, the game's over. We're trying to figure out how to get back. The usher that was in our section and chat with us, he's like, I got a minivan. I'll give you all a ride back to the hotel. And we all we all jumped in his minivan and he gave us a ride back to the hotel. And I'm like, oh, okay.
It was great. I felt safe. I was sitting right next to Keith.
Yeah. In the back, we went as far back just in case.
ADs are known for making connections, right?
Yeah. No, a wonderful, wonderful time. So, I know I'm not sure how much. We don't have too much time here left. A couple things just to throw out there as well. I know you being from Utah as well, and I was. We had big news out here in Boston last night with the Boston Bruins coach stepping down. And there's a guy from Medford, my hometown, who's stepping in as the head coach. But ironically enough, we got the Utah Hockey Club coming to Boston tomorrow night for a big matchup. But right about this time of year, Rich, my question for you, and this is important, very, very important.
I can't hold him back, Rich. I can't hold him back. He does this.
This is we like to do a little trivia and throw out a little couple things as well. So
if you're asking me hockey trivia,
no, I'm not going to throw out. I won't do that.
The white flag.
This is more of an opinion question. So no answer is wrong. So Thanksgiving right around the corner. Important time. Matt and I, we talk about this every year that we've been doing this for, and we ask the question different ways. So I'm curious to hear from Rich Barton. What would be your number one side that is non-negotiable that you want to have at the dinner table for Thanksgiving?
Well, I like too many sides. My plates overflow.
Right.
My mom always had a tradition of making some cream corn.
Oof.
And that is the one thing I associate with Thanksgiving side more than anything. And that's just kind of unique to her. And I haven't had it replicated by anywhere else.
Well, you'll probably never get that, right? Too. Then that's what. Yeah.
But aside from that unique one, I would probably go with stuffing.
Stuffing.
There it is.
Traditional stovetop stuffing, or like a little mixture of some different things.
I like with some mushrooms in it and spiced up a little bit.
Awesome. Now, I know I'm probably speaking a foreign language to the both of you, because I know I know Keith, you're extremely Irish. But what I will say is dabbled with this about 7 or 8 years ago. We have our regular stuffing, which I thoroughly enjoy. Portuguese stuffing, linguiça and a little bit of chorizo, and you crust it at the top. Unbelievable. Can't go without it.
That would be up my alley. That sounds good.
Oh yeah.
That was my layup there. I know that dish always comes in too. So that
it has to. But oddly enough, so my two boys are 14 and 15, and they said, Dad, do we have to have turkey for Thanksgiving? And I go, what's wrong with you? Like, this is Thanksgiving. I'm not deviant. Well, can we have mac and cheese? I said, yeah, I'll add it to the menu, but we can't not do turkey. That's just like wrong. Oh, well, turkey's kind of bland. I go, not if I'm making it.
But it sounds like there's a question about the cook.
I think so.
Well, what's funny is, so when I first met my wife and I'd go to Thanksgiving at her parents' house, she's her family's Sicilian, and it's turkey, and then you also had lasagna as well, which is I'm like, oh, are you allowed to do that? Is that? And then I'm like, now I don't question a thing because the food's amazing and every bit about it is amazing. So, and that's up here, and I'm not sure I'm pretty sure it's unique for the most part to New England, but we have our traditional Thanksgiving rivalries for football. So we have our games at 10 o'clock, or some schools are starting to change to Wednesday nights, or there's been some games at Fenway Park now. But like for me, we're hosting this year for football. So bring all my stuff here ready to go as soon as it's done, and get to Medford as quickly as possible so I can start eating, and then get rolled out to the car at the end of the night to get home.
Yep. We do the Wednesday night thing. the night before Thanksgiving, which is actually proven to be a big hit for us because the two teams are within 40 minutes of each other, and you get alumni out there, and it's amazing. It's been great.
Awesome.
That's
great.
So,
That's great.
Rich, we're really excited to see you in person another couple of weeks. We really appreciate you coming on, taking some time out of your busy schedule and talking with us. And hopefully we'll get to do this again soon. I know Keith and I are we've circled the calendar. We'll be at the National and we will be live. So, if you're in the area and you want to pop in, we'd love to have you. One of the other things that I obviously usually start with, but I'm going to end with is we can't do this without our sponsor, Gold Athletics. They're the premium fundraising company, across the country. They're unbelievable, fit all of your needs. If there's anything that you're looking for, Gold Athletics does it. Gold Athletics is the only way to fundraise. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to seeing you all again soon.
I appreciate both of you, your leadership, and your state MSSADA, one of the strongest in the country, and much respect to all of you and your members.
We appreciate it very much, and we'll see you soon. And thanks for coming on.
Okay, thanks.
All right, take care, Rich. We'll see you.